All right, we are live. Welcome to BDQ Casts. I am CoDameron, and today we have a very special episode. I am joined here today by Kav Manickaraj and Freddy Deangelis. Say hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey there.
So, if you guys have been watching and keeping up to date with the Atlanta Vault Tour, recently that happened this past weekend, May 26th, I think, 2019, the winner of that tournament was Kav. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And here we have, we're going to cast this game knowing the result. So we know that Kav wins. I'm not going to spoil how he wins. It's actually a great couple games. It's an adaptive game. Maybe there's 2 games. Maybe there's 3. But we're going to actually have Kav and Freddy talk about how these games went. So Kav and Freddy, you guys are from Atlanta, so getting to the Vault Tour was actually pretty easy for you guys. And you guys are testing partners. You guys have been playing cards a long time. Kav, Freddy, talk about yourselves.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So Freddie and I have known each other for a number of years now. We went to grad school together. As soon as the first, beginnings of Keyforge came out, I emailed Freddie and I said, hey, we have to play this game. So, of course, Freddie immediately pre-releases it. And I think we just basically spent that first 2 months pretty much playing as often as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And most of our correspondence now is just Keyforge related.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Freddie, how about you? I've met you in Atlanta, and I gotta say you are a fantastic Keyforge player. Oh, this is talk about yourself while I fix this.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. So I actually don't have much of a background in competitive card games or anything like that. I'm not a Magic player. I haven't done anything like that. I do really like strategy games. So, board games. I really like StarCraft too, although I don't get to play it very much anymore. But those sorts of cerebral games, Kevin has always talked about Magic, and I've just never had the time or money to get into it. So when Keyforge came out, it seemed like, this would be a great way to scratch that itch, and it's just so easy to get into. And like we started playing, and like Kevin said, it's just really taken off from there.
Yeah, and when I met you guys were great fun, and you like very clearly think about this game a lot. You talk about the games in a lot of the terms that we talk about and that we kind of coined, and we had a lot of great discussions about like how the sealed tournament was going, what decks you should pick, what decks you should look out for, things that we're excited about in the next set, and we even I played both of you separately. I played Kav in the top 8, who knocked me out, so I know he was a good player, and then I played Freddy in a sealed tournament. We played, we were both 3-0. No, Archon, yeah. And it was just a side event, and Freddy beat the pants off of me in a spectacular racing game. And these
That
guys,
game was a lot of fun.
I'm happy to have you guys on the stream and talking about this game. Okay, I'll get off of this page now because it's half set up, but it's fine. We're good. Let's talk about the game. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to go over the decks. And Kav, I want you to take me through your deck. Flairkeeper, Karlvene, great, fantastic name, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it just rolls off right off the tongue.
Yeah. But talk to me about why this deck was your choice, what it did for you, why it was better than other decks. Tell me about your deck.
Yeah, so in choosing a deck, especially you have to know what format you're playing, right? So this is a sealed format. Anything goes. I can't say that I don't, I know exactly what my opponents are going to have. So I really need to have an arsenal that I can choose from here. So the first thing I started looking for were what were my removals and what were my steals. And the reason why is because that says what's your board interaction and what's your Ember interaction. Of course, everyone knows Shadows is kind of king of steals. Very happy to see Shadows in this. But I also, if it wasn't a Shadows deck and it still had some Ember manipulation, I would still be happy with it.
It's nice that you have a lot of the great steel cards, like Finishing Blow does a lot of work.
That's
Bolt
right.
Miasma and Too Much to Protect. Carlo actually has some value in here, but yeah, you also have them in the other houses. You have Graft, you have Charette, you have the other options. Very nice.
That's right. Within each of the houses, there's almost always something I can do to stop the opponent from either forging or getting too far ahead, and that's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is I'm a huge fan of logos because I think card draw is really going to give you the edge, especially in sealed. Sometimes the format can be a little slower in sealed. Running through your deck is going to help you get to the end, get that last bit of ember out, and really make sure that if you need to, you can shuffle your deck. So I was very happy to see shadows, very happy to see logos. Dis was really just a sort of the whipped cream and the cherry on top of this already awesome Sunday.
It seems like a very strong support house in this deck.
That's right.
Like the Poltergeist and the Three Fates, very clear support cards. The Bauble, very good support when you go on that off house.
Definitely.
The Disruption and the Ember Imp, Succubus Toxin, great calls. But I even want to draw attention to the Tendrils of Pain. I saw you pull that off for the full 4 damage a ton of times.
Definitely. Yeah, so what's cool about, when you have a Dis in a Shadows house, you can let your opponent forge when you want them to forge. So if you wanted to be able to squeak out the full value, you could. Now, of course, you don't try to get it every time. You play it for the value you need at the moment. But with a Shadows house in your deck, it gives you that option.
Yeah.
And of course, one more thing to note is the double Poltergeist, which means, there's going to be artifacts coming around. I want to get rid of them. Being able to use them and get rid of them sounds that much better.
Right. So is there anything, what in particular, so you've talked a lot about Dis, Logo, Shadows, houses. What is it,
Right.
What is the actual special things in your deck that you took extra advantage of? Why is this the deck and not, we know that Dis, Logo, Shadows, that's a great house combo. Why is
Right.
this a great deck? It is sealed, so it's not like you had much of a choice, but what did you find throughout the tournament got you extra value than normal?
Yeah, so my style is very much to try to squeak out Amber where I can and really keep the pressure on the opponent.
Right.
And so what I saw about this deck was it was a good mid-range. If you look at it, just with a first pass, you don't see some of the cards that you might want to see in Shadows, like your bait and switches.
There's no bait.
There's no bait. There's no key hammer in Dis. Of course, Logos has library access.
I don't see a lash.
There's no lash. It doesn't have what is known to be a powerful set of cards in these houses. And so, at first I saw it and I said, okay, this looks like a good deck. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I actually have a lot of tools to work with. And to me, strategy games, especially in the sealed level, you want to have those options. You want to be able to flex your deck to match the situation, and I felt that this deck best exemplified that.
Yeah, because there are a lot of special cards in here that I see. I love Safe Place. I love Speed Sigil. I love Speed Sigil, but like in here, I think in a sealed environment, it gives you a different speed to play the game at.
That's right.
That's really cool. If it's one's not working, you can flip to the other. I like the Replicator. That's actually really cool in a sealed format where you don't know what you're going to see, and Replicator could take advantage of that. I think Double Poltergeist is a star. I think Library Access Phase Shift Wormhole is another strong play that might put you over the edge for a more standard Dis, Logo, Shadows house.
Definitely. And actually, one more thing, if you look at the logos, a lot of these creatures, they're drawing cards, right? And so before I came to this tournament, I gave keywords to each of the houses. So as I walked in, I could look at the houses and associate them with just one word. And for me, Shadows was steal, Dis was control, and Logos was draw. Actually, Dis was really limit, but I kind of say is limiting the board or limiting your hand size.
Is this something that you guys go back and forth on regularly when you play at home? These keywords, I like these keywords. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, and obviously I'm happy to share the rest of them if you want them as well.
Yeah, hit me real quick with them.
Yeah, sure. Let me bring out my my handy dandy notes here.
I don't think we've ever talked about these explicitly.
Yeah, we haven't necessarily used them, but right before coming to the Vault Tour, I was sitting that night and just making some notes, and I decided I need to quickly assess these decks.
And you have to know what you're looking for in a deck, in a house.
That's exactly it. So I have Dis as limit, I have Shadows as steal, Sanctum as protect, Brobnar as fight, Mars is invade, Logos is draw, and Untamed is amber burst.
I like invade. That's really cool.
Yeah, and so really, actually, I do want to draw your attention to those last three, invade, draw, and amber burst, because as we will talk about my opponent's deck, when I saw his houses, that's exactly what I was thinking. And as we're going through, I'll kind of point to you to where I made specific decisions because I didn't know what was in his deck, but I was playing to a strategy.
You didn't know it was lands, right?
I didn't know it was lands either.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, this is one of the reasons I want to focus on this. This shows the kind of preparation that somebody goes into to win a tournament like this. You didn't come in blind, and one of the things that we'll talk about is you don't know your opponent's deck list. You don't get to see their Archon card in a sealed environment, and just having an idea of against the Untamed, it's probably going to be Amber Burst, right? That is a really cool thing. In Logos, he's going to draw cards, and knowing one, when you're looking at your opponent, what they might try to do is really important. And then if you're looking at your own decks in sealed, if you find a Brobner list and it doesn't fight, then you don't want to take it.
You don't want it,
right? You really you really want to find houses that play to the house strength, right? In your house in your deck that plays to the theme of the cards.
That's right.
And on a side note, I don't want to get too sidetracked on this note, but come Origins, come the next couple sets, the sealed tournaments are going to be AOA, and maybe we should be thinking about and updating those words come the next set. Okay, so let's talk about Bobby's deck. Bobby's deck is not scanned as of right now, and we're trying to get in touch with him, but I have it here. The code and the little thing is covered up, and I've posted a link to my Google Photos. You can see this picture in my link, so you guys are all welcome for this. This is Undine of Longroad, and this is what we're going to be up against. And at one point in the tournament, you play this because it's an adaptive, guaranteed to play this deck. But what you see is a Logos Mars Untamed house. And what I see in this deck, I casted this. We're going to actually be watching the thing I casted with me on mute. If you want to watch my live reactions to this deck, just go watch it on Cascade Games LLC. But this deck has a really cool Access Seed combo because it has the Scrambler Storms, the Wormholes for consistency. It has both Psychic Bug and Deep Probe for hand peaks.
That's right.
It has a very strong Mars list with the Invasion Portal to kind of mill through your deck. It has a decent Untamed house with Nature's Call, Dust Pixie, Flaxia, Double Full Moon. Man, this doesn't even need lands to go off. It could it could hold a hand, archive with that lab work, and I don't know, probably other cards that make a Zizix hand and go Dust Pixie, Flaxia, Full Moon, Dust Pixie, Flaxia, Nature's Call, Key Charge, Seed, Key Charge, Mimicry, Nonsense. This might not even have to lands off to win, right? You don't know this going in.
No. I mean, but again, let's just apply those words here. You can look at Untamed and you see it's got Full Moon, Flaxia. It's got a Nature's Call. It's got all these amber generating, a Dust Pixie, a Dew Fairy. It's got every one of those little tools that help you fulfill your goal in that, right? And I think you could actually, you could apply those same words to the other two houses. Mars has an amazing Mars board. And if he wants to, he's coming in with, invasion portals to find those extra guys right when he needs to.
I really like the double Tunks and the Dominator and the Zizix, along with the Snufflegators and the Quixo. It really feels like this deck can build up a board while it's trying to hold cards for a combo.
That's right. And so, obviously, when you don't know what deck you're going up against and you're looking at a deck like this, my initial thoughts were it's going to have creatures, it's going to be making amber. I need to look out for that.
Decks tend to do that. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, so let's just watch through the game. And so here you guys are. You're rocking your Atlanta shirt. What's on that shirt?
It says Atlanta influences everything.
Yeah. Nice
Shout
shirt.
Out to the A3C Hip Hop Festival.
Awesome. And Bobby's rocking an awesome hat. I really like that hat.
It's a great hat.
Yeah, so here we go. Bobby starts off very strong with this Flaxia. So talk me through where your hand was, where your head was. Just, where are we?
Yeah, so, at this point, my goal was very simple. I wanted to get the first key. So this entire tournament, my plan was get the first key, spend the second key controlling his board, squeaking out amber to forge my second key, and then the third key, just go for a quick burst. So that's how I played. I said, he's got amber first. I'm going to stop that amber, refill my hand, and then just start keeping that amber pressure for that first key.
Yeah, so one thing that happened on this stream is there is a terrible glare that it doesn't happen in person, but when you have the camera overhead, it's kind of hard. So we'll try to see what we have. But I'm looking at your hand here. I think I see a library access and the too much to protect. That's right. That's a bold keep. Did you keep that or did you mulligan with that?
So I believe I kept that actually. No, I mulliganed.
Okay, so when you mulligan into two of those later game cards, Too Much to Protect and library access. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm not the happiest, but again, like, I have library access to draw if I need to. I'm not too worried. The shred stops something right now. I'm not too worried. It's too early to tell exactly, where I am.
Oh, hold on. I gotta mute you for a second. Something happened with your audio. Your audio is all messed up all of a sudden. You're currently muted. Technical difficulties for a second. It's still no good. Oh, I think I know what's happening. It's something to do with the splitter. Unsplit the headphones. Oh, better. We're better now. Excellent. Yeah, we're better. Freddy, I don't know if you can hear us right now. Can Freddy hear us? That's fine. Kav, we'll just turn this into an interview with you and myself. And we're gonna bring Freddy back for the end, all right? And I guess I am happy to have him. Oh,
we'll do
okay.
it live.
Okay, yeah. So we're back. Good. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but anyway, one of the things that we were talking about is the incremental advantage plays. A lot of your cards and a lot of the way that you play is just very much going a little bit at a time. So we see you actually here. I'm gonna jump back a couple seconds here.
Yeah.
You do actually choose to play this turn with the library access. You're holding 3 access. You're holding 3 shadows cards. Why'd you play the access here?
Yeah, actually, this is one of those things where Freddie and I went through it, and, the play actually might have been to just hold on to that library access for a little longer and get extra value. I'm actually not a library access player, and to me, when I saw that, I looked at his board, and I said, what I need to do is just continue to draw, and even if I got those 2 to 3 extra draws out of it, I was almost happy given what I had in my hand, which were, I had the speed sigil, I had the too much to protect, and I had a special delivery.
Also, he's sitting at 4 amber right now, so you're expecting that too much to protect to actually hit in some way.
That's right. If he's going to go for a bit of a burst, likely I'll maybe at least be able to get 1 out of it, and I have plenty of ways to steal. So again, not too worried. I was trying to feel out what he wanted to do.
Right. And actually, this turn ends up looking pretty good for you. And what I like about the library access, the way that you played it, is that you're really playing it for next turn. You're playing it to get a better shadows turn, because at the end of a library access turn, you're going to have 1 or 0 logos cards in hand almost necessarily. And, you're hitting pretty well. You have a wormhole into something nice. I think you had it into the replicator. You have the phase shift, and now you've got a decent board control. I think you played a twin bolt to kill 2 guys. Seems fairly good.
Yeah, well, it's important to draw lucky.
It's not even about drawing, but like to remember here, you didn't need to get lucky for this to be a successful turn.
Exactly. Right.
And that's kind of
that's right.
What one thing I like about your play style is that you are playing to get incremental advantages off, not necessarily to get huge plays, and you're trying to push for that first key, and it's time to do that. So you're going to do the access turn.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, throughout the entire tournament, that was really my strategy. I wanted to put pressure on first key first, and so whatever it took me to get there. And we're 10, 11 rounds in, so my plays might be a little less optimal than the turn, the games before, but.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing his cards come out, and we've seen him make a lot of amber. We've seen him have a Dust Pixie, Anaphylaxia, and a Psychic Bug. I mean, that's a ton of amber, and you're controlling 2 of it. He's made 6 already, right? And you choose here to play the speed sigil. This is a thing that I remember being a very significant part of the turn. Hey, what is that?
That's right.
Ooh, that's a little silly misplay there. Oh no.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, it's not.
No, that was. Yeah. So if you.
Ooh, look at
it
you.
skipped a little over here. So
Big
yeah,
brain.
So go back and you'll see. Right.
I think I know what you did. So the first thing
I'll let you explain it.
you had 2 options here. Your first option was to play the Carlo first. He would be tapped.
That's right.
And then play Sigil to steal 1 on Carlo's effect. And initially, that looks great. If you guys want to switch to like one ear each, that's also fine.
Yeah, we were trying to find it. Unfortunately, in this house, apparently I don't have
No worries.
a double ear, so we're gonna be fine.
No
Yeah.
worries. So what you do instead, which is a pro play, what a great play this is. Ton of amber. You play the sigil first, then you play the phantom. He's ready. He has skirmish and elusive, so that's skirmish for 1 damage. Lets you play the finishing blow. You get the steal anyway. You kill his rocket boots quick, so you get a steal.
And I'm ahead.
What a play.
So yeah, I'm right where I want to be. I'm definitely forging next turn unless he is, doing something drastic. And that something drastic means he has to choose between playing that, one spell he maybe was holding on to a little longer, or he's taking the turn off to rebuild his board because I've cleared it. So I feel pretty happy right now.
And you get to 7, and you hold too much to protect. You think you don't need to be at 8 here?
Yeah, so this is also another situation where, maybe I actually probably just should have chucked it and gotten that 1 extra card. And, in hindsight, that's something that I probably would have done.
What did he play Mimicry for? Do you know?
Yeah, he mimics my library access. Exactly.
This is very greedy of Bobby, I think. I think he's trying to get the combo off.
That's right, yeah. And, I think he actually makes another play soon where he has to take a... Well, I won't ruin it. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, he gets the seed, and he's actually doing this weird Untamed library access combo pretty effectively.
It's hitting for him, but yeah, like you said, he wants to get in to get his seed combo going as quickly as possible.
He's also holding a key charge, and he's very, very close to making that pay off too.
Right, and I think we're about to see that he is deciding what to do with that key charge.
He decided to fight with the snuffle. Oh, into the chart to get to Amber. That's right.
Correct.
Yeah, interesting. He's very unsure. He's discard. He plays it.
He plays the key charge because he wants the extra draw. That's something that I maybe would have, thought a little bit about. But again, he's got the seed, so I'm sure he's thinking, I've got all this amber generation. I can forge maybe even twice in a turn.
Yeah, I remember watching this and seeing him lose that amber on stream, and I'm very confused by this play. I mean, that's an interesting choice. He's in a library access turn. That's a little greedy, I think. Bobby really is trying to go for these big plays, these long combos, and being at 6 there would have been much. I guess you're showing the naughty. I guess it's not that much pressure, but it makes you go shadows again after a shadows turn. Nobody wants to do that.
That's right. Yep.
But like, how do you feel? Would you have played the key charge? I don't think you ever played. I think you pitch it there.
I think you pitch it. I mean, it's not drawing you a card.
I think you pitch it.
That's right. Yeah, because again, you're still able to get it back with your seed. You don't necessarily need that extra card draw. I mean, going fishing for 1 more, I think losing an ember, that's not necessarily the fairest trade.
Well, I think the point I'm trying to make here.
That's right.
Say again?
Like it's going to die.
They can hear you. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point was just even if you get like 1 or 2 more untamed cards by playing the key charge, like it's not like you've played the mimicry, then seed, then mimicry again to where like you have a chance of going through your deck. And I don't think it's worth an amber to maybe, and it's a third of an untamed card really, because you don't know what you're drawing.
Right. And I think that that Kav here, you're much more of a tempo player, and being at 6, having that pressure, so that if he was at 6, you would not have let him have that that turn. Okay. So
that's right.
I'm gonna leave the camera running right here. But here is a big moment in the game. So Bobby, you play this Ember Imp Toxin turn. You get some amber, you do some stuff. Bobby plays Library Access. Then he pops Nepenthe Seed to pick up Library Access. He plays his second Library Access, but that's 2 cards played.
That's right.
You're under Ember Imp, so he can't play a 3rd card. Right? This is a huge misplay. You might even see us running back and forth in behind Kav here, because I'm standing. That's in the white shirt there. Right. That's actually Stoic Angel. His name is Eric. He's a great guy. He's wearing that awesome Death Cork shirt. And right now we're all talking about this on the camera. What's going on? What's the ruling? The judges are trying to figure it out. But I can tell you right now, especially in hindsight, that Bobby has just popped his seed for his second library access and can't play any more cards from hand. This is a huge misplay, and It doesn't take Bobby out of the game. It really doesn't. But it definitely gets him into his head. Kav, I mean, you're trying to be like correct about the situation. I'm sure you're nervous to make sure, like, is this a misplay? But how does this feel?
That's right. Well, I mean, it is when you're sitting there at the table, you are thinking about so many things. I give him the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't looking at the Ember Imp. In fact, I wasn't even looking at the Ember Imp. When I saw him go off on his lands, I immediately looked at my hand and said, okay, he's about to lands. What do I have next? Not even paying attention to the board. And
you were gonna let him twin bolt. Like you were.
That's right.
It took you a second to figure out what's going on.
That's right. It took me a second.
So I'm gonna pause this here, just while we keep talking about this. Keep going.
Well, yeah. So and that's a key moment in the game, right? Because his deck does have the raw power to come right back. He doesn't need the lands to win, but he was hoping to have the lands to win, and I can understand that. You want to close up the game as quickly as possible. From my point of view, I see that the lands is down. I see that he's already popped the seed, and to me, it's clear skies. I figured I just have to continue with my plan.
Mm-hmm. You've got stuff to do. Right. And you know that you only got a key. He's still showing a bunch of amber. The game's not over. And so that's the mindset you need to keep. You need to say that I'm still in this game. I'm still trying to win this game. It's not over, but I'm ahead now. And
that's right.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about is Bobby did have an out, right? So he hasn't holding the twin bolt. He actually didn't draw that until he played his second library access. What he is holding, though, is he's holding Doc Bookton. So the optimal line here would be step 1, play library access. Step 2, play Doc Bookton to draw a card. But since you have a speed sigil out, Doc Bookton is ready and can fight into the Ember Imp. This releases him from the 2-card combo. Now he can seed, pick up the other library, and then keep rolling with this combo. And then he's drawing 2 cards. And the question here, though, is I've had a lot of conversations about this on my own with some of my friends. Do you think this wins him the game if he can go off with this library combo?
Well, we know that his key charge is in the graveyard at this point, right? So he can't seed for that unless he goes through his entire deck, and even then it's going to take him one more turn. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I would say that what he would have hoped to do is just generate as much amber as possible. Again,
and then he would be hitting you with Scrambler Storm too.
Right, exactly. So if he hits me with Scrambler Storm, then he's ensuring that I can't, Esma, I can't bait and switch if I had one. I couldn't too much to protect, which
you do have.
I have.
And
that's right.
Here you are with the card to answer him, and this is one of the things that is the crux of a lot of the arguments that I hear about this lands deck, especially in this moment at this moment of the tournament, in this moment of the life of the game, is that we don't know what he was going to draw. If he draws into 4 Untamed turns and no Logos cards, bunch of Mars, then his combo ends and he ends up ahead on board. He'll probably have about 10 amber or something. He'll have a big board. And your board will be hit because you'll lose the Ember Imp, you'll lose the Naughty.
That's right.
But we don't know, right? There's a very good chance that he is very far ahead. And there's a small chance that he just draws out of his mind.
That's right.
Draws through his deck, finds library access on the shuffle, and everyone's whoa, I can't believe we found the library access on the shuffle.
Right,
That's how, which one was it? I think it wasn't Birmingham, it was Denver, I think.
Right. I think that was...
It was...
Was it Denver?
The Denver Vault Tour was a mirror match between 2 lands deck. There was a seed deck and a non-seed deck, and the seed deck won all 3 games. And the first game of that match, which we casted, if you guys want to go check it out, the winner ended up shuffling through his deck and drawing lands, the library access for a 3rd time, right at the start of his shuffle, right. And that won him the game. Without that, he would have lost the game because he was this close to losing. Here, we're not in that situation. I think that you would have been on the back foot, and we would have had a live game on our hands. But here, we don't. We have Bobby still on the back foot after this pretty egregious misplay. So you say Shadows, and I see you Naughty to take his Amber away, so now he's not at 5. And it seems like you're almost playing... not on autopilot, but you're certainly making sure that you don't make a misplay too, right?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it is if you are not considering your opponent as a threat at any given point in time. You're letting your guard down. That's when you're going to make the mistake. So I saw that happen. I figured I still have to stick with my plan. I can't deviate from my strategy. Continue to play the game the way I know to play the game.
I see you holding miasma and the too much to protect. You monster.
I know.
So
I was getting
greedy.
a little greedy at this point.
I'm so greedy with that. You are at 6. You are holding two cards that save you. Granted, they are good combo together. They're great cards.
Right.
And you're
That's
probably right because, I mean, I didn't win. You beat me. So what am I saying? But, like, you just held 2 strong cards at 6.
Well,
what are you thinking?
I mean, honestly, this is definitely me taking a little bit of an extra stride because of the situation, and maybe something that I would not advise myself to do in the future, because I know that if I was behind, if his lands went off, those 2 cards are getting pitched. I need to find my answers right now, or at least one of those cards are getting used. Say the too much to protect, or even both of them getting used. Right, like. There's no reason for me to keep those in my hand outside of a little bit of greed. So admittedly so, yeah, I'm flexing with the situation right now. I'm making sure that if something happens, I at least have an out. Given my
You just saw that his deck can have this combo. What else does it have?
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. Right.
And you're probably kind of timid at this point, which is fair. But yeah, like it's a fair play to make, but it is a choice. And
that's right.
Like being your ability to go back, watch the tape, think about the game, even if you don't have a tape to watch, the ability to go back and reconsider what happened is really important for a strong player, right? You're
Definitely.
questioning every move you make. And look at your hand. It's garbage. It's 2/2/2. It's got really good cards in it. I don't know what I'm saying. But, like, you know what I mean?
Right. It's 2/2/2. It's not necessarily the numbers you want.
Yeah. But, you are ahead. And it doesn't look like he's going to try to stop you. He sees your hand. He probably calls something, doesn't take a creature. And, he gets the Ember Imp off the board. That's good. That's very strong. But, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to do that for sure. I mean, if I were him, I was sort of thinking about what I would do if I were him. I need my board to get set back up. I need to get my, Ember engine going. So, to me, this was... Staying the course was exactly the move that I wanted.
Taking a peek at his hand, it does seem like he has 2 or 3 Logos creatures in there. His library access would have been very strong, but he didn't have any key control. I don't think his deck has a ton anyway. We'll look at it again between games.
Right.
But his deck couldn't stop you at 6. So again, you're getting a little lucky here, right? You were lucky there, but you're not winning on merit of your luck. But you are winning because you're putting yourself in the position to win as often as possible.
Yeah, I am at this point trying to ask him to make the decision. Do you want to stop me or do you want to set up?
Mm-hmm. And here comes the Shadow's turn. This is the 3rd Shadow's turn in a row.
That's right.
And he's left you with all of your Shadows guys, which, I mean, I guess is the right play given that, like, I mean, he takes out the Toxin, which is the best target to do. But, like... No one expects you to go Shadows 3 times. I wouldn't. But you keep playing Shadows cards, so I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, at this point, I mean, I do have those 2 cards in my hand. I need to get rid of them because we're at key 3 now. At this point, it's to sprint, right? And in hindsight, one of the things that I did learn is if I did ditch my cards a little faster, I might have actually been at 6 at this point. So this is one of those things where, you're in the moment, you're thinking, this might save me. I don't know what the opponent's deck's going to do. But in retrospect, the correct play was to actually make, that optimal play that we always talk about, what you guys always talk about in BDQ, which is throw it. If you don't need it, if you're not going to use it in 2 turns, get rid of it.
Nothing is sacred.
Nothing is sacred.
Nothing
right.
is sacred. Oh, that's my saying. I came up with that.
I
once wrote a whole article where I took the best set of cards in the game and I said, this pod is crap. And everyone's like, what? And I go, the cards are too sacred. Oh, I don't know who's at my house. I'm not answering that. I said nothing is sacred. These cards are bad because people hold them too much, right? I could say that about bait and switch in this game a lot easier because when you hold cards in this game, they become chains.
Definitely. Oh, someone really wants to talk to you.
Maybe I have hold on. You guys talk about the game or something.
Sounds good. Well, what do you want to say, Freddy?
Maybe I've got a
I'm
delivery
still
of some
catching
sort?
up on the audio in my ear, but I think but I did totally steal that from the BDQ guys.
That's right.
Sacred. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, I've stolen a lot from you guys, and definitely appreciate having the lingo that you've established.
The
to talk
lingo
about
is
things.
very nice in a sealed environment, right? Because it gives you a way to think about decks quickly, think about plays quickly, right?
Yep. So let's see here. So yeah, I guess if you were to blindly look at what's going on in this board, you think, all right, well, he's got 5 creatures, I've got 2. It's not looking good.
I look at the keys.
That's right. Yeah, and actually, so here's an interesting component. I swung with my Brain Eater, and I did miss a trigger, which was to draw the card.
You did. I even called you out for this on the stream.
I think you did. I think you did, rightfully so. Now, what's interesting is I was looking at my hand, and amidst the distraction, I saw a path to victory, and I said I wasn't even paying attention. Of course, you're supposed to, honor all your triggers. But I realized with the cards that I had in hand, I've got exactly where I want to be right now. I've got the Amber that is putting the pressure on him. It's asking him to answer it. Mm-hmm. And if he has an answer to it, I'm immediately reaping with my creatures and putting that pressure right back, and he doesn't have an answer to it.
You were at 5, and you chose to fight. Right. And that is not what I would say. Right?
Yeah, totally.
And
totally.
This is a testament to, I say a lot of times that the final isn't the best game, it's the last game.
Right, definitely.
You guys have been playing for 2 days, for what amounts to 10, 12 hours at this point, right?
Yep.
Over the course of 2 days. And and you're on camera, it's the finals, you're nervous, misplay just happened, what's going to happen? And see, here comes the Ixaly Marauder to capture 2. If you had just reaped or played a little bit more aggressively, maybe with your Dominator Bauble, maybe you take out his Invasion Portal, because Invasion Portal gets more value when Sigil's on the table.
Right.
Maybe you're at 8, and then you poltergeist your own Sigil, because you've done that to me, and it was the worst play. I hated that. I was so mad at that. But it would stop the Marauder from, and you would have.
That's right.
You let your board go away, and I don't know. You're still in a dominant position though.
Right, and I think you make a good point. Right, it's a dominant position, but was there a better line of play? Absolutely. And the first thing I did was when I rewatched the stream, I said, "Oh my God, I cannot believe I missed that play." Right, and it's one of those things where it is the last game.
It's not even that you missed. It's not even that you missed a play or made a mistake. You still played cards. You were playing the game. You were just playing the wrong strategy. And we talk about this a lot. Like, there are a lot of choices that you can make. And look, Bobby here, I think those are supposed to be damaged. They're Amber tokens. They will be damaged in a second.
They will be in a second. Yep.
But he chooses to fight Doc Bookton. In that position, he's at 5 Amber. I would never fight in that position. He has to race you back.
He's raced. Exactly.
He also does a thing where he plays the Dominator first to unstun it, to fight you later to get board position. No, you got to play the Mind Warper first. He has Amber power, right? Play Mind Warper, take his Amber. I think Bobby here is a little flustered, but this just goes to show that there are other lines of play with the same tools. And what you have to value in this game is Amber, but what you have to value at the end of the game is absolutely Amber.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and so at this point here, this is interesting, right? Because he does forge a key. I'm sitting on a Tendrils of Pain, and I figured, all right, I can let him get that 1 key because now I get to wipe his board, and it absolutely secures the win. So at this point, I figure he's got 1 turn to answer me. I've seen a lot of his threats.
Cute.
I've seen what he's. Yeah, so I knocked down, a big creature that I know is gonna die with the Tendrils. I knocked down another creature that I know is basically disposable to me with the Tendrils.
Hold on.
And
here's a question to you.
Yep.
So you do a fancy play to wipe the whole freaking board. Good job.
Right.
Why are you fighting the Dominator? What threat does it pose to you?
For sure. This is, again, here I am getting a little greedy. And one of those things that I noticed was he's got 5 Amber, and that was a Titan mechanic that I had, and it was on the side. And so I did not want to give him that extra key, right? Because of his burst. So fighting with the Dominator Bauble wasn't necessarily the Titan mechanic is not necessarily the bad play. But yeah, in this situation, if it was anything but, it's a reap situation.
Getting rid of your own Titan mechanic is the right answer. That's the right answer. You got to make sure he doesn't forge, because that means he's 0 turns away.
That's right.
I would even go as far. So you have your Pit Demon. So you get the steal on the sigil. You have the fear. You take his whole board away. This is a gross turn. You have every advantage here. The only other thing that you could have done a little bit better is killing your own sigil, because that takes away one more potential turn from tool for him. You do
Definitely.
take away the invasion portal, which lets you shuffle your deck and get all of your tools back.
Right.
So you're playing to a different out, but like as far as efficiency plays go, taking out your own sigil might have been the play here also.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. I think really good point.
Mm-hmm. And this is very easy to figure out in hindsight, you know, at the end of it all. But and here we are. Okay, so you've won this game, right? And we're gonna leave the camera running because I want to talk to you. What did you learn? What do you remember about his deck? What are you thinking? What's going through your head at this point? Besides, yeah, I won.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, I realized, great, it's a lands deck, and I'm right now thinking, I'm like, okay, what are the tools that he had? What would I want to bring back? Obviously, that key charge. Mimicry is an awesome card. I know I have a couple of really good tools myself. Like, should I need to, I was running through the list of cards that might save me. A miasma, a too much to protect. Some of these things that if he ran away with my deck, what would I want from my graveyard? So at this point, I was looking at his deck, trying to see how much Amber Generation does he have raw, and if I needed to lands, what would I lands for outside of just? Sorry, I shouldn't even say lands.
Yeah, what would you seed for?
Yeah, outside of just the library access.
Right, and I'm sure you saw that, you knew at this point there was a library access combo.
That's right.
So you were looking for his raw Amber. That's actually a really interesting thing to look at first. That I wouldn't go there first. That's actually a cool note, because one of the things I talked about on the stream, one of the things I noticed was that your play styles are very drastically different. Hi Kav. Say you're looking
Hello.
up. You're looking up at the.
Oh yeah, that's my weird thinking face. Excuse that.
You're looking up at the overhead camera.
Yeah, I I didn't realize the camera was there necessarily, and I'm looking up and I'm thinking, and of course it looks creepy as hell.
One of the things I noticed about you guys' playstyle is Bobby is trying to very much control the game. At the end of that game there, he wasn't pushing for his 6 Amber. He very rarely pushes for that 1 extra Amber. He played a key charge to take himself off of 6 Amber. He does not listen to BDQ. He does not subscribe to my newsletter. He does not go by by my thoughts on this game. And that's a very different way of playing than you do. Bobby's trying to go for big, crazy plays and win the game all at once, and his deck supported that. You are trying to go for incremental value. You're trying to reap right. You're trying to get yourself to 6. You're trying to put pressure on your opponent on Amber before putting it on board. The board pressure doesn't matter as much. So now that you're holding this other deck, you're looking for Amber plays. You're not even looking for the combo plays. Did you even notice that there was the full moon flax? I mean, I'm sure you did, but like, what did you notice about that? I mean, the Untamed House.
Ideally, I was like, if I can get off a double full moon Flaxia, that's going to look great for me. So, I love key charge decks. I love my mimicry decks. It's something that one of my first really strong decks had exactly those tools. I'm very comfortable in this space. And so I was thinking, I know where my deck is going to, fail. It's going to fail if the opponent happens to outplay my Amber and get that first key, and then now I'm catching up.
You got to get the first key still. That's still your play style.
That's still my play style, at least in this instance, because it's a brand new deck for him. I know exactly what my deck wants to do.
While we're still on the pause, try plugging that splitter back in real quick.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
You want to try to
let's
split the audio again?
Let's do it again.
Sure.
I think
there's
a chance it works.
Maybe it will.
We have a second.
Let's see. All right, how much have we angered?
No,
chat?
you're fine. You're good. Are we back?
Yep, I can hear.
Yep.
Can everyone hear?
Yeah, no, it's good. I just heard like something go wrong, like it did first again, and I go, oh, maybe it's not the splitter. And hey, Freddie, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening without audio. But, Freddie, you're an observer. What do you see from in this matchup? What do you want? Like you're watching this game, and I'm sure you're rooting for Kav. What are you seeing from the sidelines?
Yeah. So my thought was the first game after the seed misplay. At that point, the game wasn't over, but it felt like it was over at that point. And so my thought at that point was, okay, Kevin should be able to pull this one out. He's an experienced player. He knows how to pilot a deck from here. He's clearly in the finals for a reason. But what I was worried about was, is he going to get complacent? Is he going to think, oh, okay, Bobby made a misplay, I've got this? Or is he going to keep pressing that advantage? And so what I was really thinking going into game 2 is Kevin going to keep that hyper-aggressive sort of style of play, or is he going to try to revert towards a control?
I'm sure you're used to that style of play. Okay, so here we go again. Bobby starts with another great turn 1. Like Succubus turn 1, Flaxia turn 1. These are good, strong plays. Right. And you go into a Quixo off of a mulligan, of course, and that's very clearly what your hand should be. But hey, it feels like a good answer to a Succubus.
Yeah, it feels all right. It feels all right. From here, again, too early to tell, what either player wants to do. Let's see what this next turn turns into. Yeah,
so there's a couple things that I kind of know are coming. And like if I see a turn 1 Quixo Scrambler Storm, it says, okay, I'm going to fight the Quixo into the Succubus because you got to get off the table, right?
That's right.
It is made of hot coals. You can't let Succubus live because you're going to be drawing fewer cards, right? But
you did later, right?
Yeah, you don't declare logos here, right?
That's right. So actually, this is one of those instances where I calculated that I could get to 6 amber. Right here, right now. You
do this in a very interesting way, which I also want to point out.
Sure.
So Nature's Call his whole board, 2 logos and the Succubus, right? You play Double Full Moon, you play Flaxia, and then you're at 6. I'm pausing here. This is a huge red herring to me. You are not a combo player. Any good combo player would have seen this hand, and you would have played Flaxia first. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. No. You don't have enough creatures.
I didn't have enough creatures. Yeah, so I thought of I thought about, well, so that was one of those things. I was like, if I could get to 1 extra, actually, and I in fact got a little excited.
I'm still right.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm still right. You have 2 full moons. Yeah, I'm still right. So you do double full moon. Yeah, I knew I was still right because why wouldn't I?
Let's hear it.
You're at 1 amber, of course. Right? You play double full moon for the Flaxia.
I see what you're saying.
You get 2 amber for the full moons. That's what it was. I knew there was something in there, but you do miss the Flaxia trigger, so it is a little bit counterintuitive. Right. And then you play Nature's Call. You bounce his Succubus, his little replicator guy. Maybe you don't bounce the replicator. He's not copying anything right now, right? Who do you have?
Yeah, I think replicator on the
a Titan mechanic.
Oh. Honestly, I would probably I would say maybe even keep the replicator back to the hand, take the Succubus back to the hand,
leave the Titan mechanic, and then you get to play Flaxia with the double full moon still in play. You could have been at 8 here. Little efficiency stuff, but it looks weird, and you even we were both a little bit back and forth on it because you don't get the Flaxia trigger the first time. But hey, you did choose to get yourself to 6, and you didn't kill the Succubus. You just kind of got rid of it, which is
also something to note here. I know that he has a replicator and Titan mechanic in his hand, right? So this is going to be important later on. There were a series of issues. Kind of when you're piloting someone else's deck, it really feels like you're driving someone else's car.
Yeah.
After going through 10, 11 rounds. And again, this is not to blame anyone because I was making, of course, as you can see, a plethora of mistakes myself. But just keep in mind that there are 2 logos cards in hand.
Yeah, and you're making his hand texture feel really bad, right? Like he has to, if he wants to get the Succubus down, or if he wants to get the logos turned down, he's going to be under kind of chains himself, right?
That's right, exactly.
And hey, the Nature's Call, it's not like you wasted the 3rd pickup. You did get something out of it. So there is something to be said for that.
Yeah, not the optimal play, but still got me to where I needed.
Right. So he does play this turn. There's a fear question. I don't know what's going on with the fear. But he does...
no, so this was an issue where I was, I was sort of considering another line of play. Here we are getting a little tired, and I said, wait a second, didn't I kill it? Oh, wait, never mind, I Nature's Called it.
Yep.
We're good to go.
Yep. It's a little bit weird to see, but he does choose not to stop your key. I mean, I guess it's not a choice as much, but did he have an option in his hand to stop your key? Maybe, probably not.
Maybe, yeah.
I can't see it right now. I always try to look into his hand. I can't see his hand. It's on the screen. But here you go. You're playing logos, and I see a wormhole. I see other stuff. Are you at all considering not playing Logos for the reasons of holding Logos for a library turn? Is that at all in your head? I don't think it is.
No, not even remotely. And this is again another failing of Kav's strategy here, where it was it's a lands deck. I've almost forgotten that it's a lands deck because I'm playing it in the style that I was, where it was get that first key, control that for during the second key, and then sprint for that third.
And here
we should mention, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
This is the first library access deck you've ever pulled.
Oh yeah, by the way, I've never pulled a library access deck until this Vault Tour. So I'm sitting here like, finally got it. Still messing it up.
Yeah. And I think there were a couple minor errors on these turns where I think the Succubus was missed. I think something else was missed later on, but like this is what happens in the finals. Like things start to break down. It's the last game, That's right. And it wasn't intentional on anyone's part here. And it doesn't really affect the game too heavily at this point.
Right.
But yeah, I think something else goes wrong in this game as well. Like it's a very silly game.
Yeah.
Okay, so he plays.
It is definitely a silly game.
He plays your deck kind of like you would. He plays Special Delivery, the Magda, and the Finishing Blow, both for not full value.
So here's the deep probe. So I know he's got two Logos.
This is the other issue.
So right. I of course call Logos, and in fact I told myself that if I get a deep probe, I'm calling Logos. I know my Logos creatures are really where a lot of good value is, and I separate the two because I said, all right, we're gonna discard these two, and I failed to make sure that it follows to the discard pile.
And you knew that they were in there too.
I knew that they were in there.
Right, they don't actually end up in the discard pile. So that's where I think it balances out with the Succubus. Little misplays last game and end of the run, and it's a little bit rough. But hey, here we keep on rolling. Like
we keep on rolling.
And you just keep playing out cards. Like here they all come. I mean, you have a very clear Mars turn to play down here. And you put the thing on the guy who wants to reap. Seems good. You don't put it on the guy who wants to fight or the guy who wants to do his action. Yeah, put it on the Bookton. Seems good to me.
Yep.
So at this point, you are very clearly ahead. Your board is bigger. You have a little bit of amber and a key. Are you looking at his deck or rather your deck from the other side of the table and thinking that he's playing it wrong?
Well, yeah, actually, I was at this point, I was figuring, okay, well, I played that Scramble Storm early because I know that I have a few more, actions than I do the creatures, or at least I have these non-creature cards that are the more dominant part of my deck here. So I figured, all right, he's going to start putting out some actions, and he doesn't really play any of them. So I'm thinking, all right, what does he have? What is he saving up in his hand? Is it one of these big too much to protect? Is it a miasma? What is he hoping that I do? And I figured the best way to do it is really just bait it out. Let's see him have it.
Yep, you know your own deck, and you know that it is able to respond to the pressure, but it is sealed. You only have so many tools. You know even kind of what they are, and you know where they're going to land, when they're going to hit hardest, and not that you're playing around them specifically, but you are playing in a way to your best advantage.
That's right.
Yeah, and I see him here. He's gonna play a disc turn. I wonder what he does with his. Here's another misplay on his part. This was, he doesn't want to use his special delivery, but when you play the second poltergeist, you have to use it on.
It's not a May ability.
On an artifact. There's only one of them. He gets to get his special delivery. It will die, but it would have died anyway. So it's not like he lost value, but doesn't he ping the Bookton here instead of the Zizix on the end?
No, I let's see.
No, he purges Zizix.
Yeah, he does the Zizix, right? Yeah.
All right, it's probably supposed to be purged or something. Oh yeah, here it goes.
Which there it is. Yep.
Yeah, purging the Bookton hitting the Bookton would have been absolutely wrong there.
Definitely.
But yeah, like, what a scrappy game.
It was. It really was. I mean, it kind of tells you sort of what it took us to get there. I remember, the game against you and the game right after you. They were thinkers. I've already forgotten the name of the person right before this particular game.
It was
but
Grant.
It was
you didn't play against Strong Link. Did you play against Strong Link? Bobby beat Strong Link.
Right.
Oh, you beat.
He had an amazing Mars, lineup.
I might have it. I might have it somewhere. I have it somewhere.
Yeah, he was a fantastic player, and we sat and we thought we were in the tank multiple times, right? And so I am actually, admittedly exhausted here.
Yeah. And okay, so we have orbital a mothership support or something for 2 damage, right? I guess it goes on the Magda because that thing needs to die.
That thing needs to die. Direct damage is the way to do it.
And you choose to take his amber away. So again, you're playing for the keys. You see him at 6 amber, and Bobby chose. I mean, I think he's holding a couple discards back. Did he hold discards there?
I did see a flash of purple. It's hard to see.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump back.
Yeah, let's see it.
On his turn, this is after the special delivery, and he draws into 2 purple cards.
Yeah,
okay.
Looks like 2 purples.
So, okay, so he didn't actually hold it back any discards because I feel like Bobby is the player. If he had the Tendrils of Pain, he would try to play for that bigger play, right? And as we've been talking about, the stronger play is to push the amber, get yourself to 6, 7 harder to stop numbers, and just keep rolling, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And again, we can see him behind on keys.
Yeah.
Did he even reap with the succubus? Did he miss the succubus reap? Maybe.
Interesting. He might have.
I saw him reap with it. Yeah.
Yeah. You saw him reap with it?
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, I don't think.
Again, I think this isn't just fatigue for Bobby. I think he's a little bit frustrated about, like you can see it. It's about the first game.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And these little things are the things that matter.
That's right.
And he's just playing out his cards. He's doing his stuff. Here comes the graft, and he's just. I don't think he ever got a very strong handle on this deck. I think he found a deck that he was very happy piloting, and he got very good at it. And
Definitely.
This is really a testament to player skill at this level, right? Bobby is an incredible player. I saw him play. We actually casted on the Cascade stream his top 4 match against Strong Link.
Was that Grant?
That's Grant. And Strong Link was up so far in that game. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's look at this. He held a card, I think. I'm too far past it. Whatever. He might have held a card, he might not have. But he has a very good control over his own deck after playing it for the whole tournament, after finding a combo deck that suits his play style. And at this point, it's moot, right?
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to, right, like if you have a strategy going in, at the very least, when plays get messy, because they will at some point, what I told myself was just stick with your strategy. Mm-hmm. Find the play that's optimal, if you can find it, if you're not too tired to find it. At the very least, stick with the strategy works, which was keep that pressure up. You know what the phases of the keys are supposed to be and how much you can burst to get them. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying my best to assess his side of the board. I know what cards he has that he can combo off with in my deck,
right?
And I'm trying my best to make him not have an incentive to play him.
And here's another thing that happens. You fight with your Quixo into his Magda, and forget about the elusive, right?
Yeah, that's right. So there we go.
That could have been into the succubus, and then you.
That's right. It could have been a succubus.
And then you rally. You find that you look at your board. You say, okay, I still have an out. I'm going to Doc Bookton away the Magda, and you're sitting with the succubus still on board. You haven't done anything with it yet, but you've drawn 2 cards at this point, and you decide to library access now, right?
Yeah, and this is actually really interesting. So I sat there, and if you kind of go back, you'll even see my face. I threw that library access down, and I immediately was like, wrong move.
You picked it up on the Quixo.
Yeah, and exactly. I picked up on the Quixo, and I sat there, and I was like, wrong move. And I know, I'm sitting here thinking about, should I have waited? Should I have not have waited? I know this is a lands deck. I maybe wanted my seat down. Maybe I should have Wild Wormhole. This is a part where, my gears are kind of locking up a little bit, and I figured, let's calm it down. Let's go back to basics. I'm not behind on board. I'm not behind on keys. Take this turn to calm down.
Look at you in the moment, reassessing. Like, hold on a second. I'm still here.
Right.
This, I might have played the library access a little bit prematurely. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is actually still fine. I don't think you actually want it in your hand at this point. You are going with your own game plan. You actually don't even play the Wormhole.
Yeah, I don't play the Wormhole, and in fact, it was a misplay. I meant to chuck it, and I picked it up. And these are one of the things where you're trying to reassess, you're trying to keep it going. But I'm not going to ask for plays back because this is the finals, right? Like you play exactly.
I value that opinion on the game. Like it is not personal. In the finals,
Right.
you are
Yep.
cutthroat. It is about I have a board game called Millennium Blades, and in that book,
I love
in
that
the-
game. I love that game.
in the rule book, there's a passage that says you shouldn't allow takebacks in this game because it is about taking the limited amount of brain power that you have as a resource and dividing it amongst an unreasonable amount of tasks. At this point, you have been playing for so long, you have an unreasonable amount of stress and things to think about.
Right.
And if someone has more of a brain capacity, maybe they had more rest, maybe they prepared better, maybe they're less nervous, maybe they've had more games under their belt. That is part of winning a game. Right?
Definitely.
And, the finals are where you show that fatigue. I know we're not like actual sports. We're not running around. We're not exhausted. We're not sweating, but we are thinking hard. You're on camera. You're
Maybe
nervous.
you weren't sweating. I was definitely sweating.
It was it was hot in that atrium, I will say.
It was pretty hot in that atrium.
It was definitely warm.
But this really
yeah,
is
you make
a mental game.
That's right.
And it is a resource, and little things like that where you would never be caught dead making those misplays at a chainbound event, right?
Definitely not.
I've seen you play. We all know how to play efficiently, and a lot of us know how to play to the maximum. That is your hallmark, is playing as efficiently as possible, and it starts to break down after a while. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? You look back and you say, all right, I've made these plays. This is a brand new board state now, a brand new hand state. How can I figure my way out of it?
Right. And being able to stop, pause, rally, and say, okay, I'm still ahead. I can still do these things. What are my next efficient plays? Okay, I'll fight the succubus with the Esoterra. I'll get as much amber as I can. You only got to 5 right now. Maybe you could have been at 6. That's okay. You're not dead yet. Right. I mean, you're actually still very ahead, but...
Yeah, that wormhole would have gotten me to 6.
Yep.
But it might have played a bad card.
Might have played a bad card. Who knows?
And you didn't want to do that. So that's reasonable. One thing that I noticed is that Bobby was very hesitant, was very not playing this deck in the way that you played it. I felt like he was holding cards. I felt like he was choosing to fight a lot in his first game. I don't think he was ever that far behind, but you just kept growing a board state better than we saw him building ever in his you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like you were building on attrition where he was trying to build on actually fighting, and you're just playing cards. And here we go, out of nowhere, seed for key charge, dust Bixie for game, right?
That's right.
And congratulations, we have a winner, Kav. We can officially say that you have won a Vault Tour using a lands deck. Congratulations, you are a lands player for life. Yeah, and just tell us, now that it's over, how did you feel? How do you feel? Talk to us. I did an interview with you after the game, but let's do it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was really an awesome experience being there. Keyforge is a really cool community, right? Like we get a chance to build this from the ground up, and I was very happy that someone from Atlanta was winning it, first of all. But when you win something like this, you're trying to inspire the rest of the community to say, look, there were good games, there were bad games, there were some issues with misplays. Like we all make these errors, but what you really want to do is try to be a good opponent, respect the game, don't be too hard on yourself, and look at everything as a learning moment. So I just try to keep the positivity throughout the entire day. I told Bobby, I was like, look, it was, sorry you made that misplay. I saw you make some other awesome plays before. Really hope to see you again in another finals table.
That's a really good point. I really love the idea of the community. That's one of the things that I loved about this tournament, and I love building that relationship with your opponent after you've had such a harrowing game. Talking to them about the plays, talking to them about the misplays, about the moments, and remembering those. They're a ton of fun. And after you and I had our game, I'm never going to let you live down destroying your own speed sigil.
Well, I had to.
We'll have another game. We'll have a rematch, and that's how we build these relationships. And same with you, Freddie.
Right.
I met you, Freddie. You actually came up to me during the tournament and introduced yourself and said, "I watched the show," and I would love to one day see you guys in another Vault Tour wearing BDQ shirts and mats and stuff, just to show that, like, this is the community that I'm trying to build, and I love having you guys being a part of it.
Well, I mean, I do have to give props to you and Daniel. You guys are doing a great job. I think starting these conversations about strategy, and I mean, it's very apparent that you guys are experienced players, because the fatigue is something that you get when you are not able to think about the game and the elements that you bring to the audience. And so by putting out this content, you're allowing people to say, all right, I can take my game to the next level because I can run a little bit on automatic. I know some of these rules, right?
If Cards Plus Board is great for beginners, but it's also good for when your brain just kind of fries and you need it, and you need to do something to make it not look like you're behind, or just a Cards Plus Board, great, and I'll just play that and then see what happens next.
That's right.
It also just gives you a language, right? Like instead of trying to say like, this is the house that I want to play the most, and then this one maybe I won't. Right? This is my main house. This is my burst house, and you can qualify things from there, but you have that sort of foundation on which you can talk about things.
Yeah, and that's also goes back to your guys' preparations and understanding what boards do. If I declare Brobnar, maybe I should be fighting. If I should declaring Sanctum, I should be finding a way to protect something. These are for the late games. The you're playing at 2 a.m. with your friends and you're just messing around and you're doing some sealed nonsense. You're doing a three-person game just to have a good time. You can go back to these things. And that's what a lot of this game really is about. We love the competitive side. We love these big tournaments, these big plays. But Keyforge at the Vault Tours, when you go to them, it's not just about winning. It's about meeting everybody and having that community experience. And 100%. I wanted to thank you guys for being a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We really enjoyed meeting you, and looking forward to our rematch and many more to come.
All right. Anyway, let's wrap up here. This was the finals of Vault Tour, and thank you guys again for coming on and again being part of the community. I am CoDameron. This has been Kav. This has been Freddy. This has been a Bouncing Death Quark cast. Check us out on your audio, obviously on my YouTube channel on CoDameron stream. Check out the Bouncing Death Quark podcast. Check out our Facebook, our Twitter, our Discord is a great way to get in touch with us, to talk about Vault Tours, to talk about the game. If you want a shirt that says BDQ on it or has a little symbol, you can get your own stuff on there too. Go to our store. That's a link to that is in the description to this video, as well as the Discord. Hit us up. Keep playing Keyforge. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.
Peace.